Chapter 6. My schedule said that I had Truth of Mythology course first period. Alice and I walked hand in hand to the school wing, and I noticed that she looked a little sad. "What's wrong?" I asked. "Oh, I don't know." "It's Edward, right?" "Yes. Look, Kenji, I have to go see Edward. I'll see you later." And with that, she walked down toward the infirmary. When I found my class, there was something wrong. There were no desks and no chairs. All there was is a group of kids standing around the middle of the room. "Hey, where is everything?" A small girl blushed and spoke up and said, "You're new, right?" she squeaked. "Yeah, so?" "You'll be in for a surprise," she murmured. The bell cut me off. The front door rattled and the teacher walked in. "It's Elle." "Shit!" And desks suddenly appear like magic. The kid scrambled to find a seat. I was too stunned to move. Elle sat down, looked up, and smiled. "Ah, young Kenji. Welcome to mythology class. For this subject, we need to have a simulation room for learning purposes." "Oh, class, we have 3 great things happening today," Elle said. "Great," I mumbled to myself, and I took a seat in the back. "First off, we have 2 new students. You already know Kenji. The second student will be coming shortly. And, oh, we're starting a new topic. Werewolves." Elle shot me a look to see if it would affect me. It didn't. The door to the classroom opened, and a small girl entered, sporting a white and black sundress. She had long, dark, edgy hair, was tan and had bright green eyes. She scanned the room and tilted her head as if she were sniffing everyone. Her attention snapped to me. Her eyes got huge, and she smiled, a big, toothy grin. A voice pierced my thoughts. "A mix of opposites," it said. "Ladies and gents, meet Audra B., our newest member." "Audra, please take your seat, and I hope you like it here," Elle smirked. Her gaze met mine again, and a sense of guilt filled me. "Yes, I think I will like it here very much," she said, smiling. Chapter 7. There were only 2 seats left, and they were right next to each other. Great. I took my seat, and Audra took hers. The class went by slowly, and Audra didn't take her eyes off me for a second. "What?" I snapped. "Oh, nothing," she said in an absent voice. "Well, can't you stare at someone else instead of me?" I asked, annoyed. "I could, but none of them are nearly as interesting as you," she grinned. I didn't smile back. "Oh, yeah, 'cause I'm just so interesting." I looked around the room. I was probably the least interesting of the lot. "Just stop staring at me. It's rude." "Fine." The bell rang and we got up and left. Audra was still looking at me. "I said stop staring." I was seriously pissed off now. I'm not staring at you. I'm just looking at you repeatedly." I made an annoyed face. She looked at me one last time, and I heard the voice again. "Look for me by moonlight," it said. I shook my head, and she was gone. "Kenji!" Alice's angelic voice echoed through the hall. "Hey, how was class?" she asked. "Oh, it was okay," I said absently. She held up a flyer. "Prom is coming up. Are you thinking of taking someone?" I replied dumbfoundedly. "Let me rephrase. You're taking me, and we will have fun." She smiled wickedly. "Oh, okay," I said and smiled. "I took a walk after visiting Edward, and I have to show you something," she said energetically. "Okay, lead on." She took my hand and guided me to where the campus meets the forest. She pushed past some bushes and branches aside, opening up to a vast, luscious, and bright meadow. "Alice, it's beautiful," I said, amazed, and she beamed. "Well, let's go!" She pushed me through and tackled me playfully. "Oof!" I shouted in surprise, and we both laughed. I sat up, letting the warmth of the afternoon sun warm every fiber of my being. I gazed down at Alice. She sprawled out like a lazy cat and couldn't look more beautiful. Her golden eyes catch mine, and a flicker of worry crossed her face. "What's wrong?" "Nothing. I couldn't say it." "It's okay, Kenji. You can tell me." She sat up, her eyes glittering with excitement. I looked at her pale skin sparkling from the glow of the sun. "I'm so happy right now, more than I've ever been in my whole life." I love you, Alice. I love you too, Kenji. I leaned down to kiss her, but differently this time, with timid temptation. She got up and started heading away. What is it? I mumbled, embarrassed. Let's see if you can run with the vampires. She took off running. We both ran back to the whammy house at full speed, like a bunch of 2-year-olds. As if you can catch me, I yelled behind me. Suddenly Alice stopped, and I skidded to see what had happened. It was Audra. Her green eyes bored straight into Alice's dark eyes. Alice's nose wrinkled in disgust as Audra slowly moved toward me. Hey, Kenji, who's your friend? Why do you care? I asked suddenly. Fancy running with the wolves? She asked playfully. Okay, what's that supposed to mean? She whispered in my ear. When the moon is out, I come to play. And she left. I turned to face Audra, but she had already left. I went over to Alice to see what was wrong with her. She stared at the spot where Audra just was, never blinking. Alice, are you okay? I asked, concern coating my tone. Just fine, she growled. Let's get back to the dorms. It's getting kind of late. We walked back to our dorms in silence. When we got to her door, she gave me a quick kiss and ran inside. I heard Fuel by Metallica start playing. When I went to my dorm, I put the Black Album in my stereo, put it on shuffle, and Sad But True started playing. I had to force myself not to look at my calendar to see when the next full moon was. I gave in to the temptation and looked. It was tomorrow night. Great.